Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Hernandez. I currently live in Dallas, Texas. Uh, my ministry context. Well, I've been in ministry for a long time. I was on staff with Young Life, and I've been on staff with YWAM in Brisbane, Australia, and the Solomon Islands. I was on staff with Mars Hill Bible Church in Grand Rapids. And so I've done a couple different things. Now I am on staff with a church in Roanoke, Texas, called Collective Church. It's a small church, like 75 people, where I do the youth ministry and also preach on occasion. So that's kind of my ministry context, but I've always done some sort of ministry even since graduating high school. What worship means to me, it's a loaded question. I kind of grew up with the idea that worship was, just the music and closing your eyes and putting your hands in the air and that sort of thing. So that was my kind of bubble for worship a lot of times, and that's kind of the word that was used to describe that act. If you're gonna have a time of worship, it was singing, and it was a guy with a guitar or a band or something like that, or a worship concert. But it took a while for me to kind of understand that worship was something deeper. And so, not necessarily something that we did for God, but almost something that God's doing to us and getting us to a place of letting God kind of do his work on us instead of us kind of trying to do things for him or show him some sort of like appreciation or gratitude. Though it is that, I think, but it's not just that. And then kind of that even morphed into more of just being, just your sense of being is worship. Your life is worship, everything that you do. And so you kind of end up living in a perpetual state of that with how you decide to live your life and the things that you're doing. And so it kind of had this gradual morph from just an event that you do, something that I didn't even really get anything out of, to more thinking about worship is everything that you're doing. You're giving your whole life as an act of worship, kind of being present and allowing yourself to know that God is working on you all the time and that everything you've ever needed you already have, and that becomes kind of a constant thing. So that's kind of how I think about it now. So for personally, I mean, I still do participate in like worship as kind of in a church context where we do sing and that sort of thing. But also just kind of taking the sacraments. We take communion at our church on a regular basis and participate in different spiritual practices in that way. So from a practical standpoint, Lectio Divina or silence or meditation are always that I try to kind of keep that as a priority in my life. And then obviously just kind of corporately, like I said, with liturgy and songs and that sort of thing, but also just being with other people who are believers and think those sort of things. Then obviously just being with other people, even if they're not believers, because I kind of believe that everything belongs and that it's all good. So everything is spiritual, and that's kind of how I think about worship. But thanks so much for the time. I look forward to getting to know everybody and looking forward to going through the class.